Yieldnodes. In this video, I'm going to do my best to give you an honest, transparent, genuine review of Yieldnodes, which is an interesting passive income opportunity. And I'm going to go through and give you an overview of how the whole project works, what are the benefits to it, as well as what are the real risks to being involved in something like Yieldnodes. And before I get in, I have to tell you the story. I actually heard about Yieldnodes like 2 years ago. I had a couple of friends of mine that had gotten into Yieldnodes and that said that they were earning about 10% per month passive income, that they had been withdrawing, that there was no issues, and that everything was going smoothly. And I really quickly took a look at it and I just thought, oh, this is just a Ponzi, so I'm just going to skip on it. And while all of this happened for 2 years, basically, my friends have been earning around 10% per month on their money. And it wasn't until recently that I actually went back and started actually really deep diving and investigating into what Yieldnodes is. Is it legit? Is it a Ponzi? And how does it all work? And what are the risks involved? And actually recently, I just made a significant investment into Yieldnodes, and I think it's interesting because it's a interesting way to diversify your money inside the crypto space, but not be tied to one particular coin or not be really tied to the fluctuation of the market. So with that being said, I will tell you about some of the risks that are involved in it and exactly how this works. So it's something called Yieldnodes. And essentially, the deal here is that they have basically set up like 2,000 to 4,000 of these different masternodes. And you're probably familiar of this concept of proof of stake. It's a consensus mechanism for cryptocurrencies. And essentially, if you pool together a whole bunch of funds, you can create something called a masternode, which helps to verify the proof of stake network. And in return, you can get paid yield. And so essentially what Yieldnodes is doing is it's essentially like a fund where they're pooling together a bunch of people's funds and they have the know-how of how to create these different master nodes. And in return, they are offering yield. So basically, since this last month of December, they generated about a 7.5% return. And they're now integrated with 19 different projects that are generating yield. So they've kind of split and diversified their focus across many different of these master nodes, which I'm going to show you how they work in just a second. Now, over the last 27 months, they've averaged about a 10% return per month, which is really quite awesome. Through bear markets, through bull markets, they've averaged about 10%. And this equates to about 120% per year, which is amazing. Or if you just leave the funds in there, they can compound. And if you did that, it'd be about 213% per year, which is actually quite amazing. Now, the way that this works is you simply deposit your funds into their platform. So you can do it with several different ways with a Visa or MasterCard or Bitcoin. You can also do USDT. You can also do a bank wire. And they essentially have a minimum deposit of 500 euros or a maximum deposit of 250,000 euros. And they actually pay you out this reward each month. Now, when you initially deposit your money, say it's 5,000 euros that you deposit, well, it actually gets locked in there for 6 months. Okay. And basically the interest that you earn are paid out in euros, dollars, or Bitcoin. So you can decide which you want. But basically after the 6-month lockup period, you can then withdraw your initial investment if you'd like to. Now, just to get an idea of how this actually works, you can see the returns. Basically, they started up in 2018 with an extensive beta test, basically, and then they went live. And since then, they've generated about 282% for the market participants. And you can see here how it's kind of gone: 11.8%, 10.3%, 9.8%, etc. You can see last month they did 7.5, 7.2, 10, but average about 10% per month, which is actually quite amazing. Now, one other cool thing that I thought that really kind of limits the downside risks is that if the yield drops below 5% for 3 consecutive months, then you'll actually get your initial investment returned along with any accrued profits that you've made. So I thought this was a really awesome gesture on their end to make this even less risky. I am going to talk about the risks in just a second here. Now, if you look at this, they basically put a chart here comparing Bitcoin, Dow Jones, and then Yieldnodes, which is this red one, and then Yieldnodes compounded, which is this blue line here, which is pretty awesome. So essentially, how does masternoding actually work? Because that's what they're doing, right? They're pooling your funds together and they're going and setting up these master nodes, essentially. And basically, what they're doing is they are finding different proof of stake cryptocurrencies and they're pooling funds together to create these master nodes. And these master nodes actually have more power than just like a regular node operator. So this is the deal. And I believe that masternodes do get paid a higher percentage APY for basically securing the network and performing the masternode responsibilities. Now, with that being said, they do have a docs team, which is something that I liked because, anytime you have a docs team, the chances of them just running off with your money is less likely. I'm not saying it's completely impossible, but it's definitely less likely because these guys' names and reputations are out there for everyone to see, right? So with that being said, so here are the different actual yield noding opportunities that they are currently involved with. So they're involved with these different cryptos. So Tritium, VaultWatch, Sapphire, Heliobank, so Kyanite, Jackpot, Azure, Dash. You can see all of these different ones that they're involved with right now that they've set up masternodes for. Now, a word of warning here. One of the risks here is that a lot of these projects are newer projects and it's higher risk, higher reward, right? And if you just come in here, I'll show you kind of how these masternodes work. But essentially, you can see the different nodes in the network and you can see the cost to set these up. So, some of these are cheap to set up, but some of them are not. Some of these cost 20 grand, some of them cost 80 grand, 10 grand, essentially for these different networks. And then this guy, I got this document from a guy, his YouTube channel is Hex Crypto. So shout out to him for putting this document together. And then you can see the ROI that you get basically if you were to run these masternodes. So I find this project is probably legit. It's probably not a Ponzi scheme where they're just paying funds, basically new people's funds to old existing people in the network, because you can see the actual rewards here. Like this one takes, for example, 59 days to get a return on. This one takes 257 days, 108 days. You get the idea. So that's essentially what they're doing. Now, I did want to just talk a little bit about the risks involved with this. And then I did have a special incentive for you guys. If you do want to use my affiliate link here, if you are planning on signing up with Yieldnodes, I do have a pretty awesome gift for you that I might add. So if you do end up signing up, then that's the deal. And I'm not making this video because of the affiliate link, the small amount of money that I'll make if you sign up. I'm doing this genuinely because I was really skeptical about this project. I ended up investing a decent sum of money and I'm just sharing with my community essentially what I'm doing and wanted them to become more educated about this. So long story short, what do I see are the major risks? So the major risks that I see involved here are definitely that these are newer cryptocurrencies. So they are higher risk, higher reward cryptocurrencies. A lot of them are very new. So this is one thing that I do see as a potential risk. The other risk that I do see in this project is the fact that you are giving your money essentially to a centralized party, which is definitely a risk. Obviously, I feel decently good about it because this is a docs team. And on top of that, I do have several friends that have been withdrawing for almost like 2 years at this point. So that's my quick spiel on Yieldnodes. Now, I do have a bonus for you. So I'll leave a link in the description. If you sign up through my link, then that's fantastic. If you do that, I'm going to give you an entire free month's access to Blue Edge Crypto, where essentially you're going to get part of one of the most amazing communities in cryptocurrency. This is normally $147 per month. I'm going to give you a whole month for free so you can check this out. Essentially, you're going to get our Crypto Academy, which includes our Crypto 101, 201, our DeFi 101 and 201 courses. It basically walks you through A through Z. Now, on top of that, you're going to get access to my partner, Lee, who's one of the smartest people that I know in cryptocurrency. He's been trading Bitcoin since it very first came out when it was like 1 penny. He gives his market analysis each day, and he gives you his trade ideas. You're going to get our portfolio and access to our Hype Coins indicator, which basically is pretty crazy. My partner Joe did over 1,100% last month just trading these hype coins. And it basically just points out coins before they go viral. And you're going to get inside of our Discord community and you could chat chat with us online here if you have any more questions about this. Normally $147 per month. For any deposits over $1,000 into Yieldnodes, then we're actually just going to give you a month for free. And if you want to cancel after that month, you can, or do whatever. So this is essentially what Yieldnodes is. I'm excited about it. I think it's an interesting way to diversify by in the cryptocurrency space without just speculating on price go up. And we this is something that we did invest in, so in full transparency. And again, if you want to use our link, then go ahead. If not, then no big deal. With that being said, hopefully it's helpful. And we do have a ton of other cool videos on our channel, so consider sticking around and watching some of those now.